Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Paterson, and welcome back to a new video. Today we're doing things a little bit different. So as you may know, I'm a logo designer, a hand lettering artist, so that means I get a lot of client commissions for my work. I love to work with different companies, whether that's for hand lettering or creating a brand or redesigning a brand. I absolutely love doing things for that. And before I go any further, I'm really blessed to have this kind of job, the job where I can do whatever I want, work on whatever I want, and have ultimate freedom in my choices of work. I love the fact that I'm able to do videos like this, so don't take this video as me saying I hate my work or that every client is bad, because not every client is bad. With that being said, I am literally just doing a really quick or just an easy video to sit down and have a conversation with any of you designers or people who are thinking of going into the design industry, talking about my experiences with what are known as bad clients. If you like this type of video where I talk about, my experiences with clients in like such a very easy setup and short proximity to you, then press that subscribe button down below with the notification bell on as well, so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. And also, if you like the content that I do, a share would not go amiss as well. Press that share button and share it to anywhere you want. All right, let's get into this. Now, some of you may already hear what I think about clients, and I don't think there are any sort of bad clients in the world. I don't think it's a bad client. I think it's a non-educated client. I think anyone who is commissioning you and paying you to do work really wants the best work from you, and they don't want to be your boss. They just want to give you something good, and they want you to sort of like reciprocate that by you giving something good back with the work that you're doing. Just sort my hat out. There we go. So today I'm going to tell you a little story about a client I've had, and this is, I'm not going to name any specific names, brands, or when. Actually, I will say when. It was like quite a while ago. Not going any more specific than that, but I've had some bad clients before, and it was my fault. So I was working for a client, and I'm not going to exactly name the brand either or what they do, but they were commissioning me to design a logo, and everything was going really smoothly. They seemed really up for it on the emails. Normally what happens is Naomi gets an email to her and she filters them, asks them questions, and she sees which one I would prefer to work on or what project and the pricing and stuff. She basically takes over the whole admin side of the business that I run, which is the client commission business. So Naomi was saying that this guy, he's really up for it. He loves the work that you do, and he should be generally really easy to work with. And I love this because I love clients where it's easy to work with them, that it's not a battle. And I've had my fair share of clients who are good clients and they're really good business people and they treat me well, but they're just a battle to work with because of their expectations either being too low or too high, or they are trying to get me to do out of scope work. So I was really excited, and we ended up getting the contract signed and the invoice for the deposit paid, and it was a 50-50 deposit, and everything was going really well. It was a decently paid project. And I started doing work on it. So the mood board, he sent me over some mood boards as well, or should I say other designs, which was a red flag at the time. He was basically sending me other people's design work at the same time when I specifically asked for basically a mood board, which is something that you got to watch out for, because without them realizing, they're trying to get you to redesign a already branded brand. So I started working on the project and I gave them some rough sketches after doing the mood board. I actually collaborated on the mood board with them. The client was actually really happy with the mood board that I gave and everything else. He thought we could do a few things differently, and I didn't mind that. And basically I started doing rough sketches and I sent him the rough sketch. And basically from there, I keep saying basically from there, I started to notice when we had the concept down, when he chose the final concept of what we're going to be working on to refine it and to make it better into this overall brand, I started to notice a backseat driver, or should I say backstreet designer. Sorry, I like that zoom. This zoom is very handy for me. I get very frustrated sometimes, and I know I shouldn't be. Naomi has called me a hard ass because I get frustrated sometimes with myself and with work. Not really clients. I get frustrated at what I'm doing, you know, because the creative process is difficult for me sometimes, especially with, you know, all the admin stuff I have to do and everything else in life. And I was getting frustrated because I don't think I really, you know, educated the client or told him or communicated to the client beforehand that you hired me or that you're hiring me because I can do what you can't do. And that doesn't mean that I can just produce a logo for you. That means that I'm actually designing it. So I am the creator of it. I'm going to translate your vision of the logo into the actual logo design. I'm going to actually translate your company's branding, your mood, the branding tone, and the visuals of your company, and I'm going to put them into this logo type and icon. And what started happening over time was that I'd be sending back the designs every day to him, or every other day, or however long it was taking, and he would message back with a list of things that he would like to change. Now, a lot of you may not see this as a bad thing. You may be like, okay, yeah, that's a revision. I can change that. And, you know, to some degree that is true. But what was happening is if I can't really go into specifics, which is why this video is difficult, but basically I was doing the design and I was really happy with it. And in my professional appearance and experience even, I would be thinking, yeah, this logo is great. It works when it's small. I've tested it. It's working really good. This is the final concept. And I would be really happy with it. And the client would say, no, can we change this sort of like, you know, for example, a letter into a different one? And there I would get slightly worried, but I wouldn't be like overly worried because I could just explain to him, right? I could just say to him, no, I can't really redesign that letter or put a new one in there because one, the flow would be wrong. It wouldn't look correct. It would look too much like this logo. It wouldn't fit the mood that you're trying to give or reflect of your company. All it would do is confuse it. And I'll try and explain to all the clients that I've been working with that, you know, don't base the decisions or the changes on your emotion. Base it upon what you know works. And that's what I do with my design process. I don't base any of it on emotion. I base it all on basically me and my expert opinion. But the client was like, no, I want you to change it. So from that point, I would keep on changing the logo. Again, he is not a client from hell. This client was not a client from hell at all. He was a very, very nice man. I should call this annoying client. The reality is that I did not educate this client on the way that I design. Maybe I missed it. I normally educate them and I tell them, you know, the way that we're going to sort of design this is by, I'm going to send you some concepts or a concept and I'm going to back up my decision and I'm going to tell you the one that I prefer and the one that we should choose. And anything else that you sort of like have a question on, I want it to be a collaboration, not you being my boss and me being your worker. The way that I work with all my clients is 50-50 mutual partnership and collaboration. Hence why I take a 50% deposit at the start. So we're both either losing or gaining a certain amount of money or time at the start. So it's all even and fair. Over time, I would speak to the client and say, you know, you really don't want to change that letter. And he would say, oh, just do it. Just see how it looks. And I would say, okay, all right. I suppose I can. So I would go and do it full well knowing that it's not going to work. And this is where I came up with this sort of like quote that I always say to a lot of my clients, which is I spend most of my time with clients designing things that I know will not work to prove that they don't work. Because a client will ask, oh, you know, can you change this or can you put this little thing in there? And I'll be like, it won't work. 90% of the time I'm like, it won't work. And lo and behold, I'll design it and I'll present it to them and say, it doesn't work. This one does work. This is why. Basically, what I've learned from this specific client is that when I gave him the thing that didn't work, he still chose it. He still chose the design that was not on my advice. Yeah, I would not have chosen that design. Now, this wasn't his fault. This was my fault. And the reason why I say that is because I did not educate him enough at the start of the process to let him, you know, value my opinion. He valued his emotional interest. You know, I always call it the wow factor, where if you were instantly wowed by it, that somehow the client thinks that the logo is going to make money if you're wowed by it. And I would say, it's not about the wow, it's about whether it works. I'd always explain how, you can have the best logo in the world or the most fancy or the coolest design in the world, but if it can't be seen on a mobile app, or if it can't be seen on your website, or if people don't recognize it, then there's no point in having it. It just doesn't work well. But still, the client chose that logo, and I had no other option but to send him that logo. But what I did do is gave him the one that I would work with as well. I did that for free. My whole moral with logo design is that if they choose something or want something that's bad, that is my fault because I've shown them the bad design. So be careful with that. That's one point that you can take away from this. Don't show them the bad ones that you do not want to work with. But if you do send them a bad design and you want to change it, send them the good one too. Give them the option, give the client the option, value them as a client because your success is their success. This is the thing with the client. I failed to communicate with him exactly what should happen if we disagreed with something. So now I've explained to them a bit more, and a lot of my clients are much more trustworthy. And when they start becoming a backseat driver in the design process without meaning to, they just want to see things differently, I'll tell them to back off a little bit. And that is simply not because I'm being nasty or because I'm better at design than you, so jog on. It's because I know better, and they have hired me to do something that is very, very creatively driven, but also functionally aesthetic. So I would rather the client being annoyed at me at the time, but being happy in their success with the design, rather than being really happy with me for creating the logo that they want and having a really bad time with their business because their brand looks too childish or it doesn't fit. So the moral of this story is communicate with them. Make sure you have a process of communicating. It's no good just telling them, yeah, I'll work on the design. Make sure that you hold your standards high when it comes to working with them, because your client is not your friend. They're the person that's paying you to do a job that is really important to them. And your passion should be not just the design aspect of them, but making sure that business wins and making choices upon that, making sure that their business and the strategy will win. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I just want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, Dev Mountain. Dev Mountain is a 12-week UX design course intended to get you a job in the industry. You should really go and check out the website. All the sponsors on my channel are friends of mine or companies that work with me in some way, and Dev Mountain helps support this channel. So make sure you click that link down below to learn more about UX design and to learn more about what Dev Mountain can offer you. Guys, if you like the video, please subscribe and share the video to your friends. Put it on Reddit, put it on your blog, put it wherever you want. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you soon.